I think I'm live. Let me know if it looks like there's one other person here. Let me know if you can hear me. All right, we've got a couple minutes here, so I'll just wait for people to come on. What a treat. I love this. Oh, feel free. We've just got a couple minutes until we actually officially start. So if you're here, feel free to say hello. Let me know who you are. Feel free to put your name in the chat or not. And say hi if you choose. Let's see here. All right. I think it's just me now. All right, hold on. End stream. Oh, hey, Penny. There you are. Thanks for letting me know. I've just been, waiting for people to get here and not realizing that we were here. Okay. Hi, Claire. Oh, well, we'll just wait. Oh, here we go. All right. It's 6:30, so I guess we'll officially start here. Welcome. Welcome to the live event, and thanks for tuning in, whether you're catching this on the live actual session or the recorded video. So while we wait for people to come in, I'd like to start just by getting grounded. This is how I begin so many of my healing sessions, and I think it's really important that we begin by getting into our bodies as we gather here together tonight and start to learn more about this incredible new series that I'm so excited to bring, Evolve and Heal the Body. So let's just get into the body. Just close your eyes if you want to. And just for a couple minutes here, let's bring our energy from the day back to the body. When we get into our bodies at the end of the day, it's such a sweet time to take all these parts of ourselves that we've been projecting into our days and bring it back in. The place where I oftentimes begin the process of coming back in is my heart center, and that's right in the middle of the chest, as many of you know. But there's this really sweet little spot, and it's just below the heart center and just above the third center, there's this sweet spot. I oftentimes call it the pulse node, and this is an access point to activate energies of love, presence, breath, and it's a real gathering in. So let's just take a second to breathe here, a couple seconds breathing in. Good, and exhale down. Bring your attention down, coming into the belly, dropping down to the belly, and coming in, gathering your energy in. If you're just signing on here, we're just gonna get down into the body before we begin this official launch for Evolve and Heal the Body, the series that begins on March 10th and runs for 3 days on Zoom. And we have lots of great details to share today, but for right now, just connect back down. Get into the lowest part of your abdomen and your pelvis and breathe down there. And now, coming in even further down to the earth, just feel this beautiful, incredible earth that's here holding you as we arrive here together. So here we are. So for the next hour, I want to talk all things your body and the incredible nature of the self-healing innate capacities that your body just holds within it. The tools that I bring, whether I'm working with clients individually working in my own body, working with groups, or running programs are indwelling therapeutic healing capacities that we've all been born with. I learned originally how to access healing in other people's bodies through many years of my osteopathic training, medical school, and working with patients. And I learned so much about healing, pain, dis-ease, and what happens. What happens to us? Why do we get so sick? Why do we break down? Why do we fall apart? Why do we feel so depleted so much of our lives? What is that all about? The questions that I used to get in my practice, they really haunted me. The questions that I got were all about, why did this happen? What's the root cause of my pain? How can I prevent this from happening again? And it was those questions really that inspired me to go deep into my own body, because I too held pain, and I too held dis-ease, and I too felt depleted so much of the time. And I didn't have a lens for working in my own system, because I was trained as a physician to work in the bodies of my patients and really to give away energy all day. And at the end of every day, I was depleted beyond measure, and my family saw me in a heap at the end of every day. And that just wasn't acceptable any longer. And so in 2020, we went into this incredible time of closure, of going down and in, of closing ourselves into our homes and getting really quiet. And during that time, I learned some tools. I learned how to start working over Zoom, because I had to close my practice down and I wanted to help people. And I didn't know what to do to help people. But I had some incredible guidance. And, oh, hey, Charles, welcome. I'm glad you're on. I'm just giving a little bit of my background before we go into Evolve and Heal the Body, the series, because this is a really incredible thing that I was gifted with in bringing this program. I wanted to share about what happened and how did I start working energetically, and how do I even teach this? 2020 was the time of great closure for us all, and the world went quiet. And so our access to healthcare went down, but our inner dis-ease and dissonance went up, way up. And so I felt like I was in this position of initially feeling pretty helpless, and through some incredible guidance that I received, which told me that I actually had the capacity and the abilities to move energy in other people, which I actually didn't know, which is an amazing journey. I just started working over Zoom and found that the healing that I was offering my patients in a hands-on practice translated when they weren't in my practice, when they weren't in my office, when they weren't in my physical presence. And very shortly after that, I realized that my own body was also designed to heal energetically, and my hands actually were the tools. So for 3 years now, I've been working this way. I've been treating people over Zoom. I've been treating groups of people over Zoom. I've been treating myself. And that was the greatest discovery of all. Here's the thing. When I was 4, I was run over by a car. And that was actually one of the greatest things that ever happened to my physical body, because it created tremendous, hey, Tammy. Oh, it's so great to have you guys here with me. We're talking about the capacities of our bodies to heal. And one of the greatest gifts that I had was getting run over by a car, crushed, honestly, at the level of my pelvis, and going on a wild ride of working with doctors and healers of every variety to unlock this pelvic discomfort, this pain, this dis-ease that kept me just in pain, just enough. Just the low level of discomfort was just something that came with me through life. I could still do the things that I wanted to do, But it was just this thorn in my side. It was always there. And there was no one that I found. I worked with some incredible people, but there was no one out there that helped me to heal this very long-standing pain. Hey, Vicky, thank you for tuning in. I'm so glad you guys are all here with us. So this pelvic pain. In 2020, I woke up. I started to feel the electromagnetism of the human biofield. And what happened? My hands started to get repelled from my body as if it was like these two poles of a battery, of a magnet rather, that you put together, and you can feel this energy kind of pushing them away. That's what was happening to me when I put my hands toward my heart. And all of a sudden one day, my heart, it just started to show me that I could actually interact with it energetically. And so that led me to the next step, which was, okay, so if I can interact with the energy of my heart, I wonder if I can interact with other parts of my body. And so I did. I just asked for guidance, and I was guided to my pelvis. And I'd been studying the work of Joe Dispenza at this point for quite a while. And so this concept of energy centers was really familiar. I recognized that I had been working within energy centers within other people's bodies for quite some time. But I didn't know that I could work within my own energy centers in a way that was beyond his teachings. Joe Dispenza is an incredible healer and teacher. And I attribute so much of what I know today to his work, his expertise, his scientific approach. But what I didn't know then, and what I know now, and why I'm running this whole series, Evolve and Heal the Body, is that we are the ones designed by our own very nature to heal ourselves. I wouldn't know that unless it was my truth, my experience, my reality. So after about 6 months after recognizing that my own heart was telling me I could feel these energies, I went into a framework. I went into the body. I started working in each one of these energy centers, and my hands started to move, and I didn't know what it was, but I just started to kind of clear stuff and move stuff. And all of a sudden I had a whole framework going into each one of the energy centers. It took about 6 months to work in each one, to move from the first center down in the pelvis to the second center up in the lower abdomen, the third center in the upper abdomen, the fourth center in the heart, the fifth center in the throat, the sixth center in the middle of the head, the seventh center above the head, the sun star above the head, about 2 feet, and the earth star below the body, 2 feet down. And before long, I had an experience working with each one of these centers and how they, when open and flowing, inform anatomy and physiology. And not only that, there are parts of our anatomy and physiology that are just kind of stuck, like kind of frozen with densities, with energies. So that was the beginning of a very long 3-year process of uncovering the truth of us, which is we are energetic beings designed to heal ourselves. So very recently, I discovered the work of Eileen McCusick. And I want to give her credit because this book changed everything about the way that I have been working over these past 3 years, actually. So up until now, I was working inside of people. I was helping them connect themselves back to the energy that we're all swimming in, the ether that we're all swimming in, the unified field. But the inspiration for this series, Evolve and Heal the Body, came from reading her book about 5 times and recognizing this. We are not just inside our bodies. We all know this. There's an auric field around the body, but there's more than an auric field. There is a biofield. This is Eileen's work, and she has actually quantified this. She's measured the biofield, and many other scientists, doctors, researchers have measured very similar measurements. That there's a biofield that's about 6 feet out from our bodies. And in the biofield is frozen parts of us, of our bodies, that just kind of got stuck out there. And they inform the physiology, the anatomy, and the functioning of the body. What is it? What is it that's frozen out there? Any unfelt feeling or emotion that has come in through your central channel, through an energy center in the core of your body, and into your body. If an energetic emotion comes in and it gets stuck, meaning you weren't able to or didn't have the tools or weren't in a safe place to feel it through, feel it all the way through, your body stores it like a living library. It's pretty incredible. Somewhere in the biofield, either within the body or somewhere within the 6 foot, 12 foot radius, actually, of your biofield. And so, why is this important? Our medical system looks inside the body. My osteopathic model up until now has looked inside the body. There are energies that breathe through us, but the lens of healing, from my perspective up until now, has been inside the body. And so now I'm aware that there's way more going on. And actually, I've been interacting with these energies, these densities in the biofield, and not even really knowing where they were. There's a map. There's an anatomic map of you and every single year of your life. And it's found by going out into the biofield about 6 feet in every direction and combing through it and bringing back the parts of you. Yes, I'll answer that question in a moment. Thank you. But combing through the parts of you that have gotten kind of stuck out there. So this biofield, let's talk about that for a second. The biofield is made of energy. It's made of something called subtle energy. And your body itself is made of subtle energy. And so the energies in the biofield, they function as an extension. And what is the energy that we're talking about? It's actually plasma. So plasma is moldable. Plasma is potential. It's pure potential. And when plasma gets compressed down and compressed down and compressed down and compressed down and compressed down, which is energy, it forms skin, nails, hair, eyes, organs, bones, but it's all energy, all of it. And so when you get into the biofield, it's the same subtle energy made up of plasma, but it's just not as compressed. And so it's very difficult for us to actually measure this, which is why modern science, it discounts it, because we don't yet have the instrumentation, the sensitivities to measure this biofield in a scientific way, but we're getting there. So the energy centers we can measure through voltmeters. And these energy centers, I'm so glad this is helpful. The energy centers are also everything in your body, everything your body is made up of is plasma. So plasma, think of it as like, I don't know why, but I feel like I just need to describe this as kind of like a moldable ectoplasm. And that's kind of what it is, right? Plasma, ectoplasm. But it's ectoplasm oftentimes is referring to something supernatural. And I guess we could say that we're supernatural, but we're humans, right? We're here, we're on Earth. And so this plasma gets squished down, compressed down all the way to form, okay, to something. It's not solid. It can appear to be solid, and that's because it's electromagnetic. And so when you take plasma and you squish it all the way down to a point where it is you in physical form, the magnetism of that plasma creates a field that makes it appear solid. And then we can actually have, this experience of physicality. We all came here to have a physical experience in a body. And this is how we navigate the earth inside of a body. The energy centers and the central channel are not the same. They're not compressed down. There's plasma that comes up. Now this is, think of the energy centers. They're pure energy, and they're like these little nuclei, these little swellings, these outpouchings, these hubs. You can think of an airport, so you've got all the terminals going off in every direction, and then you've got like the food court hub in the middle, and it kind of feeds all of the terminals. That's your energy center. So the energy centers feed not the terminals of your body, but the regions of your body that are actually supplied by that particular energy center. And it's a highway of energy that runs straight up through you from the earth. It feeds this energy from the earth, comes straight through the first center, the second center, all the way up through the main 6 centers in the body, 7th center above your head, and then all the way up to connect into source or your sun star, or there's many additional energy centers that extend far beyond. So we are an open, flowing channel of energy that goes in both directions. The earth energies come up through us, and then source energies or sun energies come down through us as well in 2 directions, and they feed these 6 energy centers along the way. So what they're feeding us is ether, pure and plasma, I imagine. But the plasma hasn't yet compressed down to physical form. So this is the food of the body. These are the healing frequencies of the body. We need to have this flow to connect us back in to the source that we've come from, which is Earth. And the sun star, or the energies from source, charge us. The positive pole is above us and the negative pole is below us. And so what we're really looking at is having a system that's open, that's flowing. Every single energy center is open to the one above it, and then the one above that, and the one above that. Opening up the channel allows for free flow up and down through each energy center. You can think of those as those little hubs at the terminal, feeding every part of your body. And what's so cool about this, and we'll just go to the next layer of this whole biofield, when there is flow, really ample, wide open flow through the central channel, through each one of these energy centers, this is you in the most optimal high voltage state. You are charging yourself because of the polarity, negative pole on the bottom, positive pole on the top, energy flowing in both directions, up and down. And when you have ample flow through your core, you actually emit an electromagnetic field around you, and that's your biofield. It is encapsulated by a double layer of plasma at the farthest extent of that biofield. So that's who you are energetically. So let's go into the body, because this is really awesome, very amazing. It's incredible, actually. Why don't they teach this in medical school, right? I don't know, but they don't. But it's so important that we know who we are energetically, because the second that we get to know that, the next step is you, not your doctor, not any other healer or guru or teacher, but you are the only one that's designed by you, by your nature, to interact with this field of energy. And the way that you interact with it is through your mind, through your intention, through your breath. And in the Evolve and Heal the Body series, I'll bring in hands. And here's why. Our hands emit the energies of love. They're connected by body region to the 4th energy center. You can actually see that when you go in for a hug. When you open your heart and you breathe your heart open, you can really feel the energy of love when you're in the embrace of someone that you love, whether it's your intimate partner, or friend, or family member, or someone you've just met, right? You can feel that embrace. That's the energy of love, and it pours right down through the arms and through the palms. So when we start to move ourselves into our bodies again and open up from the energy centers outward, we begin to create a field of electromagnetism through our hands that is the same frequency of love. And so then we take our hands and we can start to move them in parts of the body where we happen to be looking with our intention, and pulsing and moving that energy with our breath. And those 3 tools are the tools that you need to engage with your own energetic system and move out whatever it is that got frozen or stuck somewhere, either, and this is the cool thing, within your body or the biofield around it. So this has really transformed so much of how I understand the body, because there have been so many people that I've worked with throughout my over 20 years, gosh, how long has it been now? 22 years. 22 years. 22 years ago, I started medical school and I started really connecting in with the human body and physiology, but inside the body. And I started having these questions back then, like, what is pain and why is it here? And what is it all about? And I was so inspired that I went to become a specialist in pain and osteopathy. And I just didn't understand what I wasn't connecting with, because people kept coming back with more pain. And so I didn't know what to do to help them. I could calm the pain down for a matter of weeks, but the pain would oftentimes come back. Or if it didn't come back in that same place, they developed pain somewhere else. Or maybe it wasn't pain, maybe they just felt low energy. And so I ended up getting this collection of patients that would come back to me month after month, week after week, year after year, so that I could shine them up again. And they would always tell me that, like, I knew that you'd fix me. I'm coming back here because, I can go out there and do whatever I want to do and drain my batteries. And I knew that if I came back here, that you would fix me. So here I am. I'm with you for life. And that's not okay. It's not okay to be reliant upon an outer source of healing, because that means that we're all walking around, even if it's just for a few days or a few weeks in between visits with your most incredible healer. You deserve more than that. You deserve to be shiny. You deserve to know how to recharge your own body. So that's the whole reason for this series. I started teaching programs back in 2020 because I was so blown away by the shift in my own body. And so I started the story about getting run over by a car a long time ago, about 27 minutes ago in this live. And what ended up happening was, after starting to work inside and take my hands and my breath and my intention and use my osteopathic experience and training to really go specifically inside of my body and close my eyes and go into the specifics, the intricacies of the pelvis and the intricacies of the sacrum and the fascia that connected my gluteal muscles to my greater trochanter of my thigh. I mean, I just went so deep. I started to see so many cool things using my inner senses. And the inner sense was something that I was trained to do as an osteopath. When I close my eyes, I see the body. I see my own body or yours, or I see a collective body. And so obviously there's a translation there. I'm not, seeing the skeleton that we know well. I'm seeing the energetic representation of that skeleton. And I realized that just seeing it, moving it, breathing it, actually started to cause it to dissolve. My vision started to melt. I couldn't see it as much. And then all of a sudden, the anatomy went away. And I didn't know what that meant. So I just started working in my own body, seeing things, and then just feeling them kind of drift away with my hands, like as if the field of energy was somehow pushing my hands away from my body. And that's what I did. I didn't know what it was, but I just knew I had to do this. And after 6 months of working, of playing, of exploring, my pain went away. It had never done that. And it has never come back. And that was in 2020. So that was 3 years ago. So this is 40 years worth of left-sided, posterior, sacroiliac, pelvic pain that no one that I had been to up until this time in COVID lockdown, I had just walked around with it. And I was very at peace, actually. I just felt like this was just a part of me. It was just like this, so I learned how to disconnect from an emotionally charged feeling like this thing was going to harm me. It was just this like part of me. And somehow along the way, I rested in the knowing that when it was time, my body was going to heal. Or I also came to peace with, it may not. It may just be a part of me. So there's a real surrendering when we work with the body. That surrendering, when coupled with the tools to work within the body, and a real acknowledgement of where we are and how to do this work. It's a skill set. And so I'm so thrilled to have medical training. I mean, my gratitude for my education, it just continues to expand because I know now how important it is for us to know what's inside, but not just down to the level of our musculoskeletal system, what's inside all the way down to the biophotons that are that you are made up of, that you are designed to work with, that you are designed to move. This is your body guiding you back in, and our body only wants you to engage with it. That's the deal. So, when you learn a framework and we really get familiar with what does this body look like inside, it demystifies the experience. This is energy we're talking about. Obviously, it's a quiet, subtle experience, and so we have to get quiet, and we have to learn how to feel the subtleties. We have to learn how to feel the magnetism of our own bodies. And so, in the beginning, I've created this 10-step self-healing framework. It's designed to be kind of like training wheels for you getting in, connecting into your body, and learning how your energetic system feels to you, right? We can look at the color red and not really know if the way that I perceive the color red is the same way that you're perceiving the color red. And it's the same thing with energy. We are all designed to feel it, but in our own unique way. And so what it feels like to me is the way that I feel energy. And if you have never even tried this before, it may feel very different for you for a while, and maybe over time it'll feel different. Maybe the subtle part of this work will feel less subtle over time. But what felt really important to me after watching my own physical pain dissolve, it felt important that I start teaching programs right away. So I did. And in September of 2020, I launched a 3-level program series, which was called Opening the Channel to Wholeness. And I worked exclusively within the energy centers of the body and talked about how they governed the different parts of the body energetically, physically, mentally, and emotionally. And it was a beginning for me. I've come a long way in my greater understanding of these energies, and also the vast importance of also beginning to develop proficiency in working with the emotional energies that are the actual cause of the congestion in the body. The source of the dis-ease in the body is emotional. And we've heard that before. A lot of us have heard that before. But this is actually what I see now. Our emotions are electromagnetic frequencies. Every emotion has a different electromagnetic frequency, and it's designed to come in, flow through the body. We're designed to feel that feeling and move it through, right? A feeling comes in, it's like a little storm or a big storm, and the feeling comes in, sadness, anger, frustration, impatience, fatigue, whatever it is, the feeling that comes in, when we let it flow, it moves through us. But most of us don't do that. Most of us, especially if it's a feeling that doesn't feel good, right? If it's not a happy feeling, but it's a feeling of anger or resentment or jealousy or shame or guilt, or we can name so many emotions that we don't really like to feel, or we haven't had a whole lot of support in learning how to feel. Most of us have learned how to become professional compartmentalizers, but guess where those compartments are? They're in your biofield, all right? The compartments are in your body. They're connected to you. You don't get rid of them. They become frozen biophotonic plasma that sits in the living library of your biofield that is informing your body in every moment. And the more that you have out there, the more you're feeding those energies out there, and you're not feeding yourself the vital energies that you need for healing and evolving. So this program, this series, is all about learning about your energy centers one by one. And I really want to go deep into each center. So the first program is just the first energy center in the pelvis, and the energy centers in your knees, and the energy centers in your feet. That's your root system. So the first energy center is all about your root, energetic roots. And the reason that I'm going to dive deep into this is because this sets you up for revitalizing your system from the ground level up, which is where all the energy that revitalizes you comes from. So I used to think that as long as we opened up the root center in the pelvis, that was enough. It's not enough. When we open up our limbs as well, by connecting and healing and really getting to know the energy centers at the bottoms of the feet and the energy centers around and inside the knees, and then start to work within the biofield that's around those structures, what happens is your body gets upgraded. All the energy that gets frozen just off of it or inside of it, it comes back into circulation. It integrates into your whole system, and your body evolves. That's why I'm calling this Evolve and Heal the Body, because anything that your body has in a storage form is designed for you to evolve. We came here to evolve. And so that's why your body doesn't just discharge the stuff that you're not willing to feel. It holds on to it for you. Every single emotion that you have not yet had the space, the capacity, the safety, the support to feel is hanging out, waiting for you. It's waiting for you. And when we go in with a skill set, day by day, we get to comb through the inner parts of the body, the biofield that's just outside the body, and bring it all back into the energy center that governs that particular part of you. Energy comes in, integrates into your biophotonic density, which is your body, and then the rest of it flows through, and guess where it goes? Right back down to the earth. So anything that you're not needing for your evolution returns to the earth, which is our divine mother, and we feed her that way. Now we have more space inside of us to be fed by her as well. It's a symbiotic relationship that we have been engaged with since we got here, since we were born on this earth. But so many of us have so much storage of past, unfelt, unprocessed emotional energies inside the biofield, and either in the body or just outside of that have been taking up space. And when they take up space, we have to feed those parts of us. They're parts of us. They're still a part of us. So when we feed all this scattering of energies, we are not able to funnel it back into the core, back through the channel, back into the energy centers to fire each one of these centers in a really wide open and aligned way. And that lowers our overall voltage. When our energy is leaking out toward all this frozen bioplasma and it's not being funneled up and through and causing that incredible charging of our own body battery, and then creating that incredible torque field, that electromagnetic biofield, when we are leaking energy to any part of us that's yet to be felt, integrated and processed, we don't have enough energy left over for actually taking care of this vessel, this body. And so our voltage goes down. So this whole series is about learning the truth of you, how you're wired, how to engage with yourself, how to use really, actually, I think, simple energetic tools. They're not necessarily easy because there's a lot of practice. It's working with something that is subtle at first. So it's not an easy transition to go from a very, if you're used to being, for example, a hands-on osteopath, and you do very mechanical types of techniques, to go from taking your hands where you're cracking things and pushing really hard on tissue to working and feeling energetically and these energies inside and outside of the body. But over time, it does become much less subtle. It's just practice. And so we'll come together so that we can practice together. So in the March Part 1 Evolve and Heal the Body series, what we're going to do is this. The series begins on March 10th and runs to March 12th over Zoom. The very first day, we're going to go into the intricacies of your energetic system, the biofield, plasma, ether, the the 7 energy centers in your body. We'll go through those really briefly, just so you can fill in your understanding and ask questions about that. I'll teach you how to begin to use your intention, the tools of self-healing: intention, breath, hands. So those 3 tools are going to be your tool set for working with the energies of your body throughout all 5 parts of the series. I'm going to hand you a booklet that is a comprehensive 10-step self-healing protocol, which will teach you how to work within each one of the 6 main energy centers in your body. But as I mentioned, we're only going to really go into the first one, and then I'm adding knees and feet. So that's not in the booklet yet. So the first program is really about offering you a very specific way for you to better understand your root system energetically, and also your physical roots. So what is the bony anatomy that it feeds? What is the muscular anatomy that it feeds? What is some of the neurologic components of your lower back, your hips, your pelvis, your reproductive organs, your thighs, your knees, and your feet? When you can start to see them, and I'll bring in my bony skeleton, which I have over here. I won't pull it. Oh, sure I will. Hold on a second. Because Sam, he needs to be seen. So here's Sam. Let's see if we can get Sam on the screen here. There he is. He's a trusty assistant. I really love Sam. So Sam will help us to get a really good sense of what's going on inside of your body from a physical perspective. But then we're going to go into the emotions. We're going to go into the different ways that these energies create mental dissonance, emotional dissonance, physical dissonance, and energetic dissonance, so that we can start to really unpackage this. So I would love to hear your questions. Oh, and the other thing is, every day, I think it's really important that we start to move into a coherent field together as a group. So when we start the days, we'll all get a chance to really connect, ask questions, check in, what's going on in your body physically, mentally, emotionally, energetically, so we can really start to translate the language of energy. And then I'll treat us all as a group. So we'll go really deep and specifically into each person in the group. Depending on the size of the group, I'll be able to really tune into each one of you individually, and then use the energies of our collective group to increase the voltage of the healing space that we're in. So that's a really important part of this. You actually get healings every single day at the start of the program, so that you can start to understand what energy feels like as it's being liberated, transmuted, which means it changes from storage form to mobile fluid form, and then moves through your body. So my intention is that by the end of the 3 days, you'll actually come away just feeling better. It'll be a real kickstart and a real catalyst for you if you've been having discomfort or just feeling generally ungrounded and unrooted or unsettled in your body. The root system is your way to get anchored to the earth, not the level earth, because the surface of the earth right now is very, very turbulent. We're going down. We're going into that part of the earth's energetic system that is unshakable. That is really our anchor into all that is nourishing, nurturing, and healing. So we're diving down and in through the body and down to the earth. So there's a healing session every single day. There's going to be a lot of teaching, and it'll be very organic. I want this to be a conversation. I want to know what you guys are needing, what's landing, what's resonating, what's not. What more do you need to know? Or have you learned too much? Are you saturated, right? And how do you actually start to move into becoming your own energetic self-healer? That's the intention of this series. I want you to know how this feels. I want you to have the tools. I'm here to help and support and catalyze and guide. But because of my own life experience, as much as I knew, as much knowledge as I had, as many healers as I had working on my body, I never received the relief in my own physical body or emotional body, actually, that I was seeking my whole life until I turned my hands upon myself and started engaging with these tools in a way that is so transformative, powerful, healing. And so that's how we evolve and heal the body. So let me know if this is making sense to you, if you have any questions for those of you that are here, anything that you want to know about the series. I will say, as I'm waiting for questions, if they do come in, that if you happen to be here in Maine, the next Evolve and Heal the Body Part 1 is taking place in the mid-coast of Maine. I'm located in Bath. And so the next Evolve is happening on April 21st through the 23rd, and that one is live and in person. That's what I meant to say. It's all live, but that one's in person. The first day, we'll be doing a sweat lodge, a ceremony on very sacred land, about 12 minutes by car from the place where we'll be on the second day, which is the healing center in our house that Claire and I live in, which is the home of Centers for Energetic Healing. And so the first day will actually be on sacred land, building a fire, and going into an inipi, which they call it. It's a sweat lodge. And so the first day of the in-person Evolve, which is on April 21st, is going to be literally rooting into the earth, going into the womb. And that's an incredible way that the indigenous people used to go in and open their pores with the fire, with the sweat, with the steam, and call in all their ancestors and the healing of the 7 generations that have come before you, us, and the 7 generations to come. So the ceremony is a really incredible way to begin to get in. The second day of this in-person Evolve will be here in person downstairs, and we'll be going deeply into the root system as we're doing in the March Evolve. And then the third day will actually be, hopefully, still working out the kinks of this, hopefully in a local yoga studio where we'll really be able to get in to the body in motion and bring it down into the body as well. So the yin and the yang. If we're not doing some kind of a yoga studio, then we'll be in nature. So that's another way that I just really want us to learn all the ways that we can get to know ourselves, whether we're still, whether we're sitting down and closing our eyes and doing the practice, or whether we're in the world, whether we're driving in a car, whether we're in the middle of a really busy work meeting, or we're traveling a lot in our lives and we just feel really ungrounded and unrooted a lot of the time. So this is about bringing your tool set into your actual life and personalizing it to really work for you. Because the more that you get in, the more that you connect down, the more that you open yourself up to this flow, you increase your voltage just by connecting. And then when you start doing the actual work, and this is why I'm bringing us together for a program, because it does require a framework. This isn't something, at least, I don't know. I mean, I guess we could all figure this out eventually, but, I just want to make this easy for you because it's been a bit of a full-time job, over these 22 years of learning all of these things. And it's incredible what I've had the privilege to learn, particularly the last 3 years. I feel like the energetic knowledge is, it's harder to come by because it's a new way. It shouldn't be that way. It's a very ancient way of connecting to our bodies. But this is new paradigm healing. This is like true transformative stuff that we're talking about. And this is innovation, right? Like this is like where we're all going. We're evolving toward the knowing that we're vibrational beings designed to heal and move energy. But right now, that's still something that a lot of people are not sure about. And that's okay. Not everybody is going to really start this work now. But my prediction, my sense is that at some point in time, everyone's going to need to do some really deep healing work. And it's not by going outside of your own body to do it. We don't heal at our root when we have somebody else healing for us. We have to do it. We have to learn. And so, I think a lot of us are at a state and a time right now where our wounds are starting to really wake up. All those emotional traumas that we had when we were kids, big or small, it was easy to bury them. It was easy to compartmentalize in the old earth. But now the energy is different. The times are different. There's so much more static. There's so much more charge on the planet. And so it's activating these old traumas within us. Totally. Thank you, Vicky. It's so necessary. Claire and I are so privileged to live together. Claire, for whoever doesn't know who Claire is, my partner, she's Healing Your Human, and she's here with us. And she's an intuitive emotional healer. And we come together with our third partner, who is also here, Charles Bell. And the three of us make up Centers for Energetic Healing. This is a school that we're building. And right now we're building it independently, program by program, client by client, group by group. And it is so necessary that we all start to uncover the language of our emotions and our energetic bodies. And when we start to learn again how to feel our feelings, which is what Claire brings us incredibly, she's an incredible healer. And without Claire, I would not be sitting here today in this form, because it wasn't until I started doing her emotional work that my physical energetic work actually helped to create some resilience in my body. There was a lot of holes in my own system. And the reason for that is these frozen biophotonic parts of me in the form of unprocessed emotions that have been sitting out in my biofield. I have a lot of them. I had a lot of trauma as a kid, and I swallowed a lot of it, and I compartmentalized a lot of it, and it was creating a lot of physical pain in my body, but it was way more than that. It was creating this lack of connection to myself, my true, authentic self. So Claire came in about 1 year into my transition from being a hands-on osteopathic doc to an energetic provider. I've been doing energetic osteopathy, which is combining energy healing and osteopathy into one modality. And that, in the beginning, for the first year, was really where my focus was. But when Claire came into my life, I actually started doing her intuitive emotional healing framework and coupling that with the energetics. And that is, I think, that's the whole thing. I mean, there's so many ways to go about our healing. And it's all about finding a way that resonates with you, a way that really sits with you. And this particular tool set, these two tool sets, when coming together, for me, have been just transformative and catalytic, have helped me to arrive and be a person that I never thought I could. I just always wanted to be whole and I just always wanted to be a good person. That was really the thing. I never felt like I was a good person because I was so scattered. I felt so depleted. I felt so jagged a lot of the time. I felt so dissociated from my authentic self. And so what we get to do now, thankfully, is come back together again. It's like we're energetic Humpty Dumptys, We have these parts of us that have gotten scattered. And it's never been the design to stay scattered. It's just that within our current medical system that serves us interventions and band-aids and treats the symptoms and not the source, we've all walked around with varying band-aids, and some band-aids go deeper than others. A surgical band-aid is great for a certain ailment, right? Sometimes we can go and get the surgery and experience that quote unquote fix. But when we really start to connect in with the fact that energy is always the fracture that precedes the physical dissonance or dis-ease. And so if we're not hooking back up ourselves to that energetic supply that enlivens that part of our bodies, we can get the surgery. The pain can go away, but that energetic fracture is still there, left unattended. And so when we go all the way down, so I love the idea of kind of two-eyed seeing, of using the Eastern and the Western modalities. We have incredible surgeries. My mother just had a surgery on Monday, and she had a massive foot repair. And in addition to the surgery, we've been talking a lot about her root system. And I treated her this morning and we started to get the flow of energy back into, we treated her inside, right? Bringing all that energy back down. And so we have the outside surgical site and the inside energetic flow. And when both meet, you have a full repair. But our intervention model doesn't talk about the energetic supply. It talks about blood supply. It talks about nerve supply. It talks about lymphatic supply. Why not talk about the energetics, right? What is this in medicine that has omitted the source of it all? So here's actually kind of like, it's almost a secret, right? That we're talking about here. It's not a secret at all. But why I get so excited about this work is because there's a lot of energy healers on the planet, Reiki masters and shamans and polarity therapists and chakra balancers and acupuncturists. And I think it's all incredible. I really do. What I find to be different about this is that when we come into the specifics of human anatomy and physiology and now take in the addition of the biofield and where the emotional energies are being mapped out there, then we actually connect in to the very specific parts of us that are not yet connected. And one by one, we become these like incredible beachcombers of our own bodies, right? We just go in and we can uncover every unturned stone or every part of us that's just not yet in flow, not yet integrated. And as we do this day after day, month after month, year after year, guess what happens to you? Instead of the normal aging process where joints break down, where bodies become arthritic, where organs get tired, where we age and we watch the drag on our skins, our hair, our skin and our hair gets gray and we just get kind of sunken in. It's like where we look at ourselves and we can see what our energy is doing. Low voltage states cause the drag of the skin. You can see it in someone who's chronically ill. I just call that low voltage now, right? So when we go back in and we start to gather those parts of us back in again, energy center by energy center, body part by body part, unfelt feeling, emotion by unfelt feeling and emotion, we bring it all together and we put it all back into the core. That energy gets redistributed to your body and your cells and your organs and your bones and your joints and your tendons, your nerves, and you heal because you have the energy to do so. That's a miracle, but it's not special. You are designed to do that. You are designed to heal. So this is a paradigm shift of epic proportions we're talking about. The more you know how to do this, and the more consistently you can redirect the flow of energy from out in the field or somewhere in the body where it's not moving, and you gather yourself back in day after day and get to know what low voltage feels like for you, low vitality, depletion, exhaustion. When you can start to work in your body and start to revitalize it, open yourself back up to the flow, which is really not that challenging when you start getting the hang of it through some practice. Every day you recharge your batteries, and every day you get the opportunity to heal and become more youthful than you were the day before. So aging is not a mandate. It's not a life sentence. We've been told that our life expectancy is, or we know that our life expectancy is what? An average of, I don't know what it is now, 80 to 90 years old. But guess what's going to happen to life expectancy when people start to really work with this? And it's not just these tools. I mean, I feel like we're on the precipice of an immense explosion of self-healing modalities, frequency-based healing modalities, sound, vibration, and biofield retrainment. So, in summary, this hour went by really fast. I'd love to hear, I know we've got 3 minutes left in this hour, and I'm happy to answer any questions, but what I'd really love is if you're ready, like if you're feeling really ready to rewire yourself, to revitalize yourself, to get to know yourself, to start to work inside in a way that you may have had a little bit of knowledge about, maybe a lot of knowledge. Maybe you're just, finding this video and you've never even thought about this stuff. If you're ready to feel better, it's time. It's time to feel better. You get to feel better. You get to heal. You get to connect to yourself. You get to reconnect to the energy of the earth. And from now on, you get to enjoy your life because you have energy to do so. This is not about surviving the experience of life. This is about thriving within it. But if you don't have the energy, the overflow of the energy that flows through you is the energy of thriving, right? If you only have enough energy just to power your system, you're in survival mode, low battery mode, right? Energy conservation mode all the time. So let's get out of that. It's time for that. It's time to feel better. And it's us stepping back into the driver's seat of our own healing that then get to hold the hand of the others in our lives that don't know where to go to feel better. We all know people that are struggling right now, and it can be really hard to watch someone going down. And the most important thing that we can do as we watch those around us that we love suffer is to take care of ourselves, is to revitalize ourselves. We are the oxygen mask. We have to put it on our bodies first, but it's energetic. Fill ourselves back up, and then we can serve and help and love and be a beacon of light for everyone else who's going to need it, because things are loud out there. And from what I understand, they are going to continue to be loud and possibly even get louder. And that's okay. It's part of the journey that we're on. But we got to take care of ourselves. It's not a sprint here. We're definitely in the endurance event of our lifetimes. So I hope that this hour served you and inspired you. And if you're interested in joining, Claire's joining. She's in. I'll give you a special rate. Reach out to me. You can email me. My direct email address is, what is it? jessicabelldo@gmail.com. So jessicabeldo@gmail.com. That's my direct email. So for more information, if you have any other questions, reach out to me. I'd love to connect with you and hear what your specific healing intentions are. Or if you are ready to sign up for this program, there's an early bird rate that ends on March 3rd, which gives you $75 off the full price, it brings it down to $375 for the 3 days, which I think is a pretty sweet deal. So that's on our website. You can find the link to sign up, centersforenergetichealing.com. So all one word, lowercase, centers, plural, for energetichealing.com. Will take you right to the link to sign up for the first Evolve series happening on March 10th. And I can't wait to start. So I hope you'll join us. Thank you all so much. I look forward to doing more lives going forward, and without a theme necessarily, so stay tuned. I've got more to come. So I'll see you all soon.